All righty, we are live. Incredible afternoon, incredible greetings, incredible morning, depending on when you are watching this. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? All right, so we have to go over here, do a little cleanup. Not say cleanup, but we have to go and share this out, edit our audience because it is definitely saying private and only it's for me. And this is not a message just for me. So we got to go change our audience over here on Facebook. And then we're going to go ahead and jump into this and get started momentarily. And as you can see from the thumbnail, we are going to talk about hobby versus business. All right. Let me go ahead and get my share on, get my share on, get my share on, get my share on. Let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and share this to our group. Our option, share to my feed. I'm going to do these with question marks. Hello, everyone. As you guys come in, drop a hey, how you doing? Let me know who's watching. Drop your city and state. Let me know where you are watching from so we can shout you out and just see where our audience is today. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, give this video a like, tag a friend, share it with a friend, share it to your page if you are able to. If you have a group where this will be beneficial, make sure that you guys share there as well. All of those interactions definitely help us as a platform, and it helps with distribution and getting the broadcast out. All right, what is wrong with this? Why is it not letting me at everyone? Okay. There we go. All right. Hello over on TikTok. How are you guys doing? And as I'm sharing out, if you are on now and you are able to, let me know what, like for you, what is the difference? What do you feel like? What is there a difference in a hobby for profit and making a business? And what do those two like terms mean to you? If you're able to kind of type that out. And where do you think you fall at right now in your creative journey, your creative endeavors? Do you feel like you are still in the hobby stages? Are you in business? Do you desire or aspire to have a business doing the things that you are passionate about making? Um, Here's a big one, right? Do you refer to what you do as a craft business? That's a big one right there. Do you refer to it as a craft business? When you're looking for information, are you looking for information on how to start a craft business, how to run a craft business? So I just have one more place I need to share this at that I know that I can share to. All right, there we go. All shared out. Hello, people. Now y'all get to sleep money. All right. I actually did my thumbnails today. So, hello, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HS8 365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best summation ink and paper. If you don't know, with our sublimation paper, you can sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds on really just about like any heat press. When we first tested it out, I actually can sublimate 360 degrees in 20 seconds and get a nice, vibrant, full full release, completing the sublimation process. I can do it in 20 seconds, 25 seconds at like 360 on this one. I've actually even done 325 degrees on this particular heat press, my Hotronix Fusion IQ. But a good middle ground, whether you are using an easy press, if you have like an entry level heat press where your heat might fluctuate, you may have some cold spots. Having a product like ours where you can sublimate at lower temperatures definitely comes in handy, and it helps out if you don't have something like a Hotronix Fusion IQ. That's what's so great about our product, because it releases at the lower temperature and the lower times. If your heat press is a little bit off and you have to go a little bit longer, you're still going to get great results. So if you haven't checked out our paper, make sure that you head over to the website, shop.hsinc365.com. If for nothing else, go ahead and get one of our 20 sheet sample packs. So that's more than enough for you to really, print some things out. You're going to see that you don't have to use premium matte, and you're still going to get amazing colors. So check out the website, shop.hsinc365.com, and click on that sample pack and order you 20 sheets. Try it out. Let us know how it's working for you. We are also the home of 365 Creative Academy, where we help you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of trainings. And we also help you start, build, grow, and scale your business, and give you the help guide you along the way, because there's still going to be a lot of legwork that you guys have to put in. We are a resource, and we are a source of information for things that you maybe like you had never heard of, these different terms, didn't know that these were options. And our job is to really introduce you to that, give you ideas on what you can do for marketing. Everyone's marketing strategy, their marketing plan, and how they do things is not going to be the same, because everybody's audiences, their target audience is different, their niche is different. But what we are able to do, we are able to help you just like navigate and really figure out what's going to be the best plan of action for you in whatever state that you are in, whatever your budget is, because there's a way to market even organically and do it for free. So we have had quite a few sessions where we've been helping those who are, entrepreneurs in the creative space, and they're either making like handmade things, or we're doing digital products, or we're just creating designs, with all within that space. We've actually even had some candle makers in our creative business program. Who else? That's not like just shirts and party favors and things like that. So we have a wide variety of classes that can help you, especially on the design side, because that is one of my passions when it comes to designing. So definitely check out those classes on the website as well. All right. My program of choice is Silhouette Studio, especially for beginners, because it has a lot of the features of some of the other like more robust programs, like your Photoshops, your Illustrators. Affinity is still fairly new on the market, but like your Corel Draw, things like that, there are things within Silhouette Studio that are in those programs, like your edit points. Canva is great and it has elements, but when it comes to really doing graphic designing and being able to manipulate shapes, which is what you'll have to do, sometimes you can't do that in that particular application, that website. It's not even a software, because it's web-based. So Silhouette Studio being something that you can put on your computer and it's there. You don't have to have the internet, and you can freely design and do everything that you need to on that. It is a great place to start for beginners. When it comes to being able to print and being able to easily resize things, it's a great place. Everyone, anyone can go and download it. This is not a sponsored video in any way, shape, or form. I am not affiliated with the company at all. It is a program that I came across, and a system that I came across about 9 years ago. when I got my first Cameo machine, and I was thoroughly surprised, like, because I've worked Photoshop, I've worked Illustrator, I've worked Corel Draw, and I was like blown away in what you can do in this software. So I have dedicated the past couple of years teaching you guys how to navigate that software. So if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, Stillaholics Anonymous, there's quite a bit of content. So there's a lot of live videos and just like our Q&As, but there's a lot of content on our YouTube channel on how to navigate it. And we also have classes. All right. So that's enough spiel and enough, shameless plugs about who we are and what we do over here. Let's get into the topic today. And that is hobby versus business. And understanding the differences in that, and that there is a difference, is going to help you determine how to market your business, how to price for your business, what products are actually marketable. Everything that we do as a hobby and when we DIY is not going to be marketable. You're not going to be able to make a significant profit off of it. We have summer school starting next week. The first week is going to be from hobby to business, where we're going to take a deeper dive into this topic. But I'm going to give you guys some little things, some little nuggets here and there that you guys can think about, take notes on, do some more research on, really ponder on it, and help you determine your next move. Okay. So let's see who is on and watching right now. Let's see. Hello, thank you for joining. Hello from Seattle. Hello, she said, city girl in a country world. How art thou? Hey, Lamont from Washington, D.C. Now, if you are watching the playback of this, my videos now, like my broadcasts, are live videos. They are live. So we don't just kind of jump right into it. This isn't a pre-recorded video where it's edited and things like that. So we kind of interact with the audience so that we can, give people time to get notifications. Sometimes people don't get the notification as soon as we put it out. So we don't want to have to repeat the information when people come on. So we try and get enough of our audience online and get a good audience before we kind of jump into it. So if you are watching the playback of this and this might be your first time catching one of my live videos, don't think, okay, well, what is this? I'll get to the point. Your title said hobby versus business. We're going to go ahead and say hello to a few people and let the algorithm do what it do. And you can always kind of fast forward a little bit and you'll get to the meat and potatoes of this broadcast. All right. In this discussion. Hello, Jay Lang from Colorado. Thank you for letting me know where you're watching from over on TikTok. Don't forget to double tap the screen over here. That definitely helps us out. Watching while working from Miami. Y'all know that's where I'm from. Hey, born and raised in the county of Dade. All right. So we are located in Miami Gardens. So when you need to get your paper, you can order it from us and you can come pick it up from us locally same day. All right. Driving to Dallas from Atlanta. So I guess right now I'm in like Tyler, Texas. Okay. Hello from Indiana. Morning working while watching. I'm definitely hobby, but still plan on selling on a very small scale. Hobby, doing for fun because you enjoy. Business is work. Business, focus more on professional quality. Okay. Hey, Solaholics. I'm new to taking it seriously. If I labeled it, I would call it a creative business. That is one of our favorite terms. That is what we have coined around here. I don't use the word craft at all. We say we have creative business. We're creative entrepreneurs. Okay. Hey, Miss Sonia, how are you? Hello, hello. Thank you for joining from Omaha. Hey Cora, how art thou? I use your paper all the time. No blowout. I can control the time based on the instructions. Yes, it is absolutely incredible. And it honestly speaks for itself. Hello, hello, hello. All right. And from Dallas. All right. So those are all of our, okay, wait, let's see. I'm not sure if I got to see because I'm getting notifications, but I don't see them over here. And it might be that it's because you guys are commenting on like a post in the group, so I don't necessarily see it. This time I forgot to broadcast it to the group, so I just shared it to the group. So in order for me to see your comments in real time, you will have to actually click on the video and come and watch, like click on it. You can't just watch it from the group, so that I can actually see your comments, okay? All right, so let's go over here. I'm going to come back over here. All right. So I did kind of see some of them, but I can't get. If you're in one of the groups, if you're not quite sure if you're in a group, just click on the actual video and it will bring up the live, and then you'll be in the actual live comments. All right. So the reason why, like one of the reasons why I chose this topic for today is in a group, I saw a couple of different um, inquiries or questions about different things. And hey, what would you guys charge for X, Y, and Z? Right. One of those things happened to be like, let's say, shot glasses, right? Then it was someone asking, about like shirts. And then there was another product where with that particular product, you most likely are buying it retail. And in a lot of craft groups, right? And those who there's like craft calculators out there, and they will say to charge, I want to say, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't really follow that model at all. So if I'm not mistaken, they will say things like you'll charge 3 times the amount for retail and 2 times the amount for wholesale, which is kind of weird to me that, but I'm like, okay, that's neither here nor there. But I think it's somewhere around there where their recommendation is like 3 times the amount. I think I've seen some go as high as 4 times the amount for like supplies. But what that does not account for is the labor and the work that goes into it. You have to be paid for the work that you do, right? And then when it comes to this whole 3 rule, the issue that I have with that and using that as your model is if you are not running a business and you are buying your items in bulk to where you are getting them at a reduced rate, a lower rate, and then the retail sometimes so it really is like in like with big corporation stuff like that, theirs is probably not like, it's probably 3 times, but when they're doing 3 times, it's not just the material, they're probably including like their labor and wear and tear on machines. It's a lot of different factors that might go into that. But when you go on, let's just say a site like Jiffy Shirt, right, which is a wholesale site that you can go to without having a resale certificate. And they offer you things at a reduced cost, especially if you're buying them by the case. So they will have on there their cost to you because you're going to resell it. But then they'll have on there a suggested retail price or the MSRP. Like that's the suggested price if it was in a store. So you can go on like Jiffy Shirts and you can get, I'm just going to use a brand that most people are familiar with. I personally prefer Fruit of the Loom shirts, but we're going to go Gildan. I see that name in craft groups all the time. So we're just going to say Gildan. You can go there and you could get a Gildan shirt for like buying it straight out for, let's say like $2 somewhere in there. White shirts, I think I've gotten them as low as like $1 and some change. This was previously. So I'm actually going to do a quick check real quick. And let's just go Jiffy Shirts. And we're going to go Gildan. And so 283. So, they have one that's there that's like 283. They have one like the white one that is 244. 289. I said 283. So 289. They have one that's 244. All Day Shirts has that exact same shirt for $2.10, right? But if we were to go to, let's say, Michaels, that I know sells the shirts, right? So let's go to michaels.com. And then I'm going to search Gildan. Without them being on sale, the Gildan shirts at Michael's are $4.99. So basically $5. Um, at Walmart, somewhere around like the same price. So when you are going to sites like that and you're getting shirts retail, let me see. Let me go back to Jiffy because I think they tell you what the suggested retail price is. So um, it would be for the colors from 538. So some like depending on which city and where you're at, which they're about there, right? So $4.99. They are going to sell it to you for $8.89. If you were to buy it in the store, they're telling you it's going to average out around $5.38. And this is a site where, I mean, they're giving you a discount on it, but if you have your business set up and you have your sales and use certificate, not your EIN. So if you have those things that say that, hey, I'm going to resell these, they're giving you a break on it because you are going to resell it. And that is how you're going to make a profit. Those sites, especially when you're buying them in bulk, you're going to get that for even less, right? So if you are able to secure this at a lower cost, and even if you match what the stores are selling it for, you are going to make a profit, right? When it comes to large businesses and they're making things in bulk, they're mass producing them. They are producing these items, and the cost for them to make it and what they sell it in the store, it is going to be significantly less because they are actually making them. They have the raw materials. So they can, when you're like, well, dang, how are they selling this custom graphic shirt for $15? I can't do that. The shirt itself is going to cost me $5. But that is where hobbyists and crafters, it's like most of you guys aren't thinking about that part, that they are not buying a retail shirt and putting a design on it. They are actually producing this shirt. Like they are, it's dyed, it's cut, it's sewn together. And most of these are done in places where the cost of living isn't that high. And so their labor is like how much they're paying out in labor is going to be significantly different than it is here. And for a lot of people, they have major machines that they are using. I was just watching a video of like the frozen pizzas. Now, if I was someone, I enjoy making pizza. I'm going to mix all these ingredients. I may only have, I may have upgraded from a little small mixer, may have, a commercial grade home type mixer before you move into like the really, really big ones. But you have to go and mix all these ingredients, and you're doing it in smaller batches. You have to roll it out and let it rise, whatever. You have to go and God, I can't think of the name of it. I used to work at the arena, and so when it came to the dough, we got the dough from Papa John's, but we had to put it through the machine to basically flatten it out, and then we had to, God, I can't. You punch the holes in it. I'm having a whole brain freeze, but we had to do like, well, not we, a lot of the employees, they had to do that by hand. You have some people that are starting out, you won't even have that machine that's going to just flatten it out for you. You have someone with a rolling pin, and when you're starting out, you're rolling it out. This is where it's a passion project for you, right? You enjoy cooking, you enjoy making pizzas. The workload in that is going to be a lot because you are hand doing everything yourself. So it's going to take you a long time. And in our minds, it's like, man, I need to get charged. Like, oh, this takes me so long. But it's not that it has to, because once businesses, they want to scale and they want to be able to make more products, because you can only do so much. With you as one person, you have to sleep. Your body will suffer from fatigue. There's only so much that you can do yourself. So this is why people invest in different machinery. So it might be, okay, you might eliminate one step. All right, I'm not going to have a rolling pin and I'm going to roll them out. I'm going to use a machine and put it through there. then maybe you were, well, I can't think of the dang on word where you put the holes in the pizza, but maybe you were doing that by hand before. I watched this whole video where all of that was like, they had a big mixer. I mean, a big mixer. They're pouring in bags of the ingredients and stuff like that. It's mixing it out. Then it's a machine that's going to go and pump that out. It flattened it out. It put the holes in it. It went through a different one. It literally like just dropped pizza sauce on it. Then it went through another one. It dropped cheese on it. And then the ones that were the pepperoni ones, it's this humongous slicer, and it had like big things of pepperoni on it to where if it meant to have like 12 slices of pepperoni, they had 12 big, like the big things of pepperoni, and it sliced it and dropped those pepperonis down on it. So now this is automated. It's not a lot of work to that. So their cost to make that is pennies. It's a couple of dollars. So when they go and they're selling it in the store, and you're getting a frozen, people say, oh, whatever, but it's frozen. It's made by a machine. This is made with love. Some customers, I don't care if it was made with love and you had to spend 3 hours hand making it, mixing it with a fork, and you had to roll it out. I just want pizza. So because you are starting out and you don't have the ability to have this machinery, I'm supposed to pay $100 because you handmade this pizza, and I just want the taste of some dough and some cheese. Now, there's differences in maybe the type of cheese that you use. You can use a high grade cheese, but I still might charge less because I don't have to sit here and hand grade these cheeses. When it's a hobby, you're thinking about every little thing that you have to do, and you're trying to put a dollar amount to it. So because you have to hand grade the cheese, I can be using the same exact cheese, but because I invest in machines where I'm just going to drop this block in and it's going to grade it for me, I might say I want to pass those savings on to my customers. So it's not that I'm trying to undercut you. I'm just doing it more efficiently. So some people will say business is doing it more professionally, but the differences between a hobby and a business is really doing it more efficiently so that you can produce more, get more out, get more done in 30 minutes, get more done in an hour. And that is truly how you increase your profit, is being able to do more. How many people can you actually service? Okay. Those are the key factors in the differences of a hobby and a business. All right. So let me kind of just take a pause here and see if we have any comments over on TikTok. Y'all following me? Good for you so far. Let's see. I got to figure out where my StreamYard went. There we go. Nope, that's not my StreamYard. There we go. No, it's not called that. It's called, God, I can't think of what it's called when you okay, hold on. Docking. There we go. I was like, dang, I couldn't think of it. It's you're docking it. It's a docker. I was like, golly. It was not coming to me. All right, let's go back over here. Y'all follow me? Y'all with me? I was looking for some comments while I was looking for the name of that. I asked a question. Y'all follow me so far? Making you start to think a little bit about what it is that you're doing. All right. So now I kind of gave that example because that was like fresh in my brain because I just saw that reel, or that, was it a reel, or yeah, it was like a video on, I think, Facebook, whatever, and it was showing like the process for the pizza. All right. So let's bring this into like our creative space and what it is that we do. So going back to the shirts, if you are buying shirts retail, it is going to be a little bit harder for you to see that profit margin because you are paying for it retail. And in business, it's about return. sale. And you are supposed to buy low, sell high, right? As a hobbyist, you're going to go into a store, get a shirt that's $5. In your mind, it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to pay someone $30 for a shirt. A shirt only costs $5. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to get me some vinyl, I'm going to make a shirt. DIY, right? Once you are in hobby is DIY. You are doing it yourself for yourself. It is for your personal use. That is what DIY is. There is no DIY in business, because if you're doing that, you have a service, you have to make a product to give to your consumers. Who else? I mean, it's handmade. It's not necessarily machine made, like when it comes to that pizza, like that example, but it is not necessarily DIY because you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your consumers. So you have to, if you're trying to do it for business, you're going to have to try and source your things at a lower cost. This is where setting your business up. And like when people kind of talk about those things, there are different steps to it. I'm pretty sure one day I'll be on here and they'll probably come on, and don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that I'm looking to as far as the differences between corporations and LLCs and S Corps and this, that, and the third. I truly believe if it's there, it was put there for a reason, and it was created for a certain type of demographic. Are there benefits to having your business structured certain ways? Yes, but there's also benefits to the other structures. If there wasn't, they would not have put them in place. It serves someone. And there's a lot of things when it comes to all different structures and what it is that you have to do, how you have to file your bylaws, your this, your that. Like there's a whole lot to that you have to learn outside of your actual craft and what it is that you do. So, but for business purposes, it's like, once you go, and for some of these companies, all they want to see is you are not someone who's trying to get over on the system. You want this for your personal use. It's for personal gain. It's not for resale. So they want to see that you have told your state that you plan to resell this. And the reason why I'm giving you a discount on this and I'm not selling it to you like your store, because I understand that you have to make money. This resale certificate, by registering with your state and having all of your business set up the correct way, it affords you the opportunity to buy low so that you can sell at a higher rate. You can buy it from us and sell it at the same price that Michael's or anyone else will sell. If you wanted to open up a store, Michael sells plain shirts. We as creators sometimes think that we have to, like, how we're going to make money is decorating it, but Michael's has a whole store where they're just selling the shirts. So you could literally get these shirts at, like, straight from the manufacturer at a low cost, sell them for the same exact amount, and you're still making your profit, because guess what? You're doing nothing. The only thing it is you have where it's available for somebody to come in your establishment and purchase this shirt. Like, it doesn't have to be decorated, right? Now, when it comes to decorating shirt, there's a multitude of ways to do it. Now, if you decide, okay, I want to decorate shirts, it's easier for me, it's convenient for me to get a Cameo machine. I can afford that versus getting a large format cutter. I want to start off small. Well, the speed at which it cuts is going to affect how fast you can get jobs done. The accuracy in how it cuts, the fact that it is only 12 inches, but a standard roll of HTV is 15 or 20 inches, which means you have to cut that down. There are places that will sell it for 12 inches, but if you do the math on it, you're paying more for that than if you got a standard roll size from, Caesar, which, like I said, it's either 15 or 20, and they have some, I think, that are larger, but normally I'm always kind of around like the 15 inches wide or the 20 inches wide. But the bigger you get it and the larger the roll, you're saving more per square inch. but you can only cut so far with these smaller machines. You can only cut so long before the tracking mess up because of the way that they are made. So you can only do so much with this hobby machine. Is it a great place to start, to learn how to cut vinyl? But as you progress and you want to have a business, some people will say there is no place for HTV in business and doing bulk orders. This is not true, because there are several companies that use vinyl, but the difference is in how it's cut. They're going to have a large format cutter that's going to cut these things out. They're going to use techniques like a heated platen, because they have a good cutter, because they are not taking a blade and using it for a year, using it for 2 years. They know that once it gets to a certain point, it's not going to give me an efficient cut. It's a drop in the bucket for me to go ahead and replace this blade. But as a hobbyist, your mindset is, I want to figure out how I can cut corners, save money everywhere, right? So you're making decisions like, I want to go, and when I could be working on a design, I could be talking to a customer, I could be working on my marketing, I could be working and posting to social media. No, instead of doing those things, it's actually going to help my business. I'm going to be over here in the kitchen with a balled up piece, or in my craft space with a balled up piece of aluminum foil, and I'm going to take my blade and I'm going to do this, hoping that it's going to make it sharper and my cuts are going to be better. So then I go on and put it in there and I test it. Oh, wait, my cuts still are horrible. So I'm going to go through this process again. That's counterproductive for business. As a hobbyist, you can do that. But for business, that's a task that is a waste of your time. It is taking you away from true money-making tasks, when all you have to do is price accordingly, budget accordingly, to where you are getting the supplies that you need to keep your business running efficiently. And that may be something as simple as keeping a stack of $12 needles, or if you have the larger one, those things cost me, I think, like $7 or something like that, probably even less than that from Economy Signs. But they'll have these machines, they're going to cut it. They're going to have sharp blades. They're going to just go, they're going to do their maintenance on it. They're going to oil it up. Some of you guys have never, ever cleaned. I can probably look at some of your machines and there is glue gunk, because once again, instead of worrying about the money-making task, you wanted to save on a mat, and you took some spray adhesive. You did not bother to cover the part where the roller goes, and you just sprayed some adhesive on there. So now when you put it in your machine, you got all this dirt and gunk and stuff building up on your rollers. You never bothered to clean those. You've never bothered to check it and see if you have to oil anything. Like, you've done no maintenance on it, and you wonder why it shuts down. It's not cutting anymore, because as a hobbyist, you're not thinking about maintenance on your equipment. But those who have the large ones, they're doing maintenance on these things. So they'll cut it. They're going to have the heated mat. They can literally take it, pick it up from a corner, because they got an efficient cut and they use quality vinyl, peel that off, and that's going to come off like butter. Then they're going to go in and, quickly move out, remove the inner parts. There are companies and there are like major things that have been made with basically vinyl. Vinyl is still used. HTV is used by major companies all the time. People will like to have you think that, oh, don't weep, but it's a problem for you because you're doing it on such a small level. And then when you have to cut it in just 12 by 12, but you have all these shirts to do, you have to literally cut one by one in a 12-inch space. Now imagine somebody having a 36-inch wide cutter or 42-inch wide cutter, and they can have those going across, and it's going to just cut it. You don't have to babysit it. That is the difference between a hobby and a business. You're going to have the equipment to make what you do to run it more efficiently. Okay. Taxes has nothing to do with the retail price. So that's another thing, right? So people think, oh, well, I have my sales and use tax, but my sales and use license, I don't pay taxes. I let them know I have my resource permit. I give it to them. I don't have to pay taxes. Okay, you're saving on taxes. You can save on taxes when it comes to going to the major, like the wholesale companies, the difference is still going to be how much that sticker price is for that shirt. But that is a hobbyist mindset. Oh, I got that. I can just go to Michael's and I can go and get this and I'm not paying taxes. Just because you are not paying taxes to Michael's, what that does is at that moment, because you let me, man, I'm about to give y'all something that's going to be talked about week 1. I'm going to give it to y'all for free right now. This misconception of not paying taxes when you buy something. The purpose of that is you, most times in business, like as crafters, you guys want people to pay up front for things before you make it, right? Like this is it's so interesting when people say, I can't go into Michael's or I can't go to Walmart, I can't go to this, that, and the third and go and pay after I used it, right? But guess what? Walmart, hell, anything that you see in a store, y'all ain't paid for that yet. Yes, you cannot walk out the store without paying for it. But guess what? All of those companies have done. They have put up money to get those items produced to put in the store for you to make. So they had to pay for that before they even made a sale. So when someone in a company offers you the opportunity to not pay tax, it's like, okay, we know technically you have not made any money from this just yet, right? So we're going to help you out and you're going to only have to pay us for the actual like item. If you are doing it correctly, you still got to pay those taxes, because once you go and you file your sales tax at the end of the quarter or end of the month, not only are you reporting the sales tax that you created, there's a little section there that says, what the hell did you buy when you didn't pay taxes from? We want our money. The government, the state is not trying to give away money. You're still going to pay those taxes once you file your sales tax with your state, if you're in a state that requires them. Now, there are some states that don't require them. They don't have any sales taxes, but there are certain things that you are going to have to pay that money on. It is not just a free, okay, I got my license, I don't have to pay taxes. You got to pay your state that money. They want their money, honey. So when Michael's or someone, they're charging you taxes, they don't get to keep those taxes. That's not their money. You become a licensed tax agent for the state. We basically got y'all collecting our sales taxes, is what the state is saying. So when they collect it, they don't get to keep that. That's not a part of their profit. That money goes to the state. So that is the difference in that, and understanding that mindset, that even when it comes to stores, they had to spend money to have all of these things produced for you to conveniently go in the store and purchase it. But the hobbyist mindset says, and the one who says, well, I want to work for myself, and y'all be saying it with your little snap of your neck and you're getting all upset with customers. I can't go in such and such and not pay for it and buy. You got to pay me up front. But that's not how corporate America works. That's really not how they work. So, she says, yep, so true. Yep, you got to pay for it. They pay for it up front. All right. This is something that I've been getting educated on. My accountant recommended that I be an S Corp. And those are things that I definitely recommend that you speak with. I am not a tax professional. I am not an accountant. I only come on here to give you guys the information that you may. I wish there was more of this taught in school. I will be the first to say, some of the things that are taught in school, like in your standard, like your class that you are required to take. Now, some people get this information because they might be like, we have like magnet schools here. There might be something that, actually, I don't even know if there's a magnet school for business. I always see things for like, we have them for dance and for law and stuff like that. I think Norland has the program that's like for hospitality. So hopefully they talk about these things. But I really feel like this, when you're talking about math, or you're talking about, hell, even social studies, right? Like that's not, you have, at some point it's called history, sometimes it's called social studies. Like teach the kids about these things instead of it just being, oh, okay, 4 quarters is $1, 100 pennies is $1. Like, they need to actually include these things in the curriculum as far as just regular education, like in elementary, well, maybe middle, high school, definitely high school. They should know these things. I didn't learn about these things until years and years and years later. So what I try to do is at least plant that seed, put that bug in your ear. Now you can go to the proper professionals when it comes to your trademark, when it comes to understanding your tax implications and what's going to work best for you. There are those who end up having to pay to go to school to get all this information, and they can pass that on to you. So definitely speak with. That's something that you're going to have to invest in. Everything that we do in business, we're not going to be able to piecemeal it together with information from Google or information from people like me on YouTube. You're going to have to speak to some sort of professional who's gone through this, and they can condense that learning for you. Okay. Let me see. Am I missing anything over here? No, I'm not. Okay, cool beans. I was in school, and I wish I had paid attention because it was a lot about marketing, finances, and business. Yeah, depending on like if certain clubs or organizations, but it just being a part of the curriculum, it's not. And I really think that it needs to be, because we don't find out about these things until it's too late. And then you're, especially as crafters or hobbyists, creators, you are trying to learn to master what it is that you do, and then also learn this side of it. All right. Okay. So we're at 46 minutes. All right. I want to be done within an hour. So let's see. We use like the t-shirt one, and getting that and how you're going to make that shirt. But what sparked this for me was some shot glasses from the Dollar Tree. Right. And I've seen this craft done so many times. And the one thing that always stands out to me is the part, it's not even the shot glasses and putting the vinyl on that, where that takes a lot of work because it's only so big. You can only put so much on there. You're only going to use a couple, like a half a cent of vinyl, depending on how you're purchasing. You're not going to use very much. The issue becomes when, again, going back to, y'all got blades that suck. Y'all got mats that suck. Your cuts are messed up. You got all these messed up cuts. You didn't learn how to cut it based off of, is it something that is intricate? Is it bold cuts? Is it have just curves and it's an easier cut? Does it have a lot of corner points? All of these things affect how it's going to cut, and it's going to affect your actual settings. As much as we would like to think that the Cricuts of the world are like, oh, it's just plug and play. I just tell it what I'm cutting, and then that's it. It cuts it perfectly. That's a bunch of hogwash, because a square is not going to cut the same way as a circle, because it has to hit corners. Those are not going to cut the same way as something that's a small vine and has a lot of in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. It's not going to be the same, knowing that you are going to be able to cut really, really small pieces. And then we go and we want to cut these distress designs that have all these little pieces in it. But so you want your customer to pay for the fact that you had to weed out 1,000 little pieces because you wanted to cut distress. There are some fonts, there are some things that just don't work for vinyl. So you're going to have to figure out a different way of doing it. But I don't want to, like, oh, if I do that, I have to pay, instead of paying $1.25 for 3 shot glasses, I'm going to have to pay $1.25 for 1 sublimation shot glass just to be able to sublimate it. Okay. Your point? Like, you cannot, you're making more work for yourself, but then you want your customer to pay for the fact that you're using the wrong method. That is the difference between hobby and business. You have to understand what's marketable, what's worth your time. And doing a distress that's this big to put on a shot glass just because you got 3 of them for $1.25 does not make that marketable. It does not make that profitable. But the part that kills me is y'all take the box from the Dollar Tree and you want to go and hand paint acrylic paint over this, or you want to go and buy spray paint and you want to spray paint the box, and then you want to put vinyl on it. Y'all do know that going in the garbage, right? Them folks don't care about this box matching it, but because, oh, it's my brand, it's this, it's that. I want it to match. Oh, I don't want them to know I got it from the Dollar Tree. Well, then in that case, take it completely out of that packaging. Maybe go and invest in some blank ones, because don't have to worry about painting it. Okay, if you want to put some vinyl on it, that's just okay. You're just going to put the vinyl, but you have to go ahead and paint it. You got to wait for it to dry before you can put your vinyl on it, because if you don't and you put that transfer tape on that wet paint, whether it's spray paint or acrylic paint, what is it going to do? It's going to peel off. Then you're spray painting and you don't know the proper technique to paint onto, that's nothing but cardboard, and you're wondering why it looks warped and it looks like all these water spots and it don't look professional because you turned it inside out to paint it. And that's hobbyist mentality. A business owner is not going to do that. That's the difference between being a hobbyist or running as a hobby, we're just going to make some extra money, and a business. As a business owner, you're not going to make crazy decisions and do crazy moves like that, like spending time painting the box just because you don't want someone to know that it came from the Dollar Tree. Because, oh, I want my brand on it. Then if that's the case, then you need to go to Alibaba. You need to purchase it in bulk, where they're going to make the box with your branding on it. But painting it, that's counterproductive. Okay. Hello, how are you? What is it? Andrea, Atlanta Custom T-shirts. Hello, how are you? Thank you for commenting. Thank you guys for engaging over here. Thank you so very much for the gift over here. Really appreciate it. Okay. Someone says, so true. I speak nothing but truth. Got to be honest over here. Got to live up to the name of honestly speaking, All right. So I saw that and I'm just like, how does the rule of three now apply to this? Right. So you got it for $1.25. It was times three, it was three of them in there. You go and you do the math on that. How much vinyl, is that? What part of that are you really trying to make money? Because labor wise, there's not a lot of labor to that. You can, it might be in design. And this is why I encourage my students to have a design fee, separate these things. This is what we're going to talk about week 1, what needs to be separated and how you need to really itemize how you are charging for things. We have a print shop. Now it's different when someone's asked for, hey, how much is it for a yard sign? We have a cost for a yard sign because I go to print shops and I've done that before, and I take my design and they have a price for actually just printing it out and giving me that print. I have to still mount it to the foam board, or if I want the Coroplast, if I want them to mount it, there's another cost for that. But what's not included in that is the design. I still had to come up with a design. So when I'm doing stuff for my clients, there's a separation between design and actually making the products. The problem for most creators or crafters is you really don't have the skill set to charge top dollar for your designs because you're trying to piecemeal it. You're trying to figure it out yourself. No one's really telling you or talking. You're not trying to really learn, and you're not in those classes that's going to teach you about composition and layout and things like that, and what looks good and how to pair fonts. We're in groups with other people who are just as green as you, and they are newbies like you, and they just figured out how to actually put text on the screen. So the fact that you got a picture and you got text, and your text is filled with glitter, and you were able to find some clouds and put it back there, they think that's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But it's not. And then we're wondering why customers are like, no, I don't want this. I don't like that. Like they're saying, you would feel like I spent all this time designing and, I need a policy because they make all these changes. But when you're looking at, you aren't willing to invest in fonts. You don't understand how to lay things out. You don't understand how to create depth. You don't know how to correct the items yourself. It's so many people with the hobby mindset, and we see so many posts about, oh, why we can't help each other. Why you can't tell me where you got it from? Do you think that someone, like, unless they're cool? Now, if I know this person, I have a relationship with someone who was a manager at McDonald's, and now I'm starting my own restaurant. Dude, because they know it, I'm talking to you because you're my homegirl, you're my homeboy. Well, where y'all get y'all straws from? Because I was going to Sam's to go get straws, but that is starting to add up when they're going to places that are like restaurant depots and they're getting it for less than Sam's. Oh, it's so many people think that Sam's is like the holy grail. That's like the best place. Oh, you're gonna buy in bulk, but that is for bulk for a consumer. Yes, there are some businesses that will go in there, stores that will go in there, but that is still retail. They're still making a profit. So you have to think about it like this. Hershey, that's not a Sam's brand. That's not a Costco's brand. That's not a BJ's brand. That is made by Hershey. So if they're selling it and they're making a profit off of it at that price, that means there is a way to get it even cheaper. Great businesses and businesses that are making money is I'm skipping the middleman. It was one thing when you first start out, it was convenient for you. Go to Walmart, go get it. Hey, I'm going to sell it, not making a lot of profit. Ooh, now I have the money to go and buy this in bulk. And then at some point, you have to make the connections, get in the rooms to figure out, how can I get this damn near straight from Hershey? I want it at the cost that they sell it to Sam's so that I can go and sell it for the cost that they sell it in Walmart and I can make money. That is the difference between a hobbyist and someone that is in business. You will figure out how to get it and invest in the resources to figure out how to get it low to sell it high. Okay, no, I thought I saw something over there. All right. Thank you guys for we up to 3,000 likes. Oh, thank y'all. Thank you. But let me see. I lost my whole train of thought because I'm telling y'all, I'm passionate about this, so I'm not gonna lie. I go off on tangents sometimes because I'll think about certain things. But what are we talking about? Crapola. I was looking at something. The hobbyist mindset, and it's like, well, no, that's not what I was talking about. That's what I was at the beginning. Buying stuff, but okay, whatever. Buying retail is different than getting it from a source, right? So I saw another one, and it was which, by the way, I actually did go get mine because my cousin is having a baby shower, so I am buying the cart and I'm going to go and put some things and whatnots in it, right? But that is something that I am doing because that just makes it look pretty. I'm able to do that. I have vinyl. I can do that. Is it something that's marketable? Because if your customer can go and look, right, on a site and see that a utility cart costs $35 retail, I can't charge you $200 for it if I'm not adding a significant amount of things to it. You have to know what it is that you should be putting value on. And sometimes buying things retail is great to have it. You might want to put a little markup on that, but what it is that you do in the design, and the fact that you can add vinyl to it and you can do different things to it, that is where your profit really comes in at. Sometimes it may not be off of the actual item that you are using. I would not be able to go and buy, let's say, a brand of subbation paper that already exists, and then I can resell it and make money off of it. We had to go straight to the manufacturer for them to make it, for them to print out our cover sheets. We had to pay $14,000 for shipping to get it shipped from Asia to Florida. We had to pay for the company to go and take it from the bonded warehouse and bring it to us, which was another cost. We had to pay the custom fees. We had to pay all of these different things for it to get here. And yes, when you go on these sites, you'll see it really, really low. We sell that, we buy it low there. We had to do all this stuff. We understand business. We understand the budget that we have. We understand the money that we need to make to survive. Your business and what it makes is not your money, because if you take every dollar that you make from business and you then turn around and say, well, I got bills, and everything goes to paying your personal bills, what does your business have to survive on? Your business has to survive as well. This is why you stress out. If a machine goes down, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't go and buy another machine. Why? Because you didn't get your business has no lifeline. You left it no money. You took all of it for yourself. You can't go and fathom, instead of buying sheets, I'm going to buy a full roll because I don't have that money. Just having a discussion yesterday about sticker shock. There's this whole thing going around with this cheer package, and people are like, oh my God, $620, $650 for cheer. That makes absolutely no sense. Like, that's way too much money and blah, 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 blah. But when we broke it down, like beginning of the year, homecoming, breast cancer awareness month, competition 1, competition 2, if you make it to nationals, that's another competition, and all these other things. And we end up getting like charging way more money throughout the season. But for some people, it's seeing that big number. It's a little bit more like they can digest it a little bit better if it's like, okay, well, I know it's $600 total, but right now, all I have is $100. So what can I do to where I'm gonna pay $100 here, or let me work on the first part? Let's do this in, like I say, block schedule. Let's do this in block payments. I can take care of the beginning of the season now. All right. So then I'll work on getting the money for homecoming, or work on getting the money for breast cancer. Then we get close to competition. Competition is November. So you just want me to think about paying $600 in July, and competition isn't until October, November? Some people can't process that. And that's how some of you guys operate. If someone goes and, our recommendation, I'm telling y'all now, if you don't want to run a business, you may not want to sign up for summer school, because you're going to have to spend some money. And I'm going to break it down. So if you're used to buying vinyl as a hobbyist, and you like those little packs that have all the little colors in it, but you're only getting a 12 by 12 sheet, and you didn't use half those colors in there. So now you got to go, just because it was $5, you're going to go and buy another pack. So what you're really doing, you're paying $5 for one color, when you could have spent $5 and got a half a yard, or whatever of the vinyl, if you would have gotten the bigger one and saved yourself some money. Week 1, I'm about to have y'all mad at me, because when it comes to spending money, I'm going to help you. You're going to spend money. I'm going to tell you what you have to do to make money. You're going to have to stop buying vinyl by the sheets. You're going to have to buy it by the rolls. But these are things that you invest in. You don't go and spend money and keep jumping on every single craft, and you haven't figured out how to sell the first craft. You don't know how to market. You don't know how to brand. But you think that, just because I add this new item, they're now making vending machines. They're now making, it was cool before just to put a regular sticker on a Pringles container. You cover the outside, you might put a sticker on top. That works. Them kids finna rip that top off, throw that shit in the garbage, and eat them Pringles that's on the inside. But somebody who wanted to be fancy, they wanted to be different for their child's party, and they went and put this little border around it. They got the little dome top. They put a little character in there. They got some glitter. They got some balls. They got all of this stuff in it, and they made it. Oh my God, I want to learn that. So you going out and you run out and you're buying all this stuff, but you don't even know how to market the first one. You were barely selling the regular Pringles. What makes you think now, if they were not buying the regular just label and sticker Pringles that you had at a reasonable price, you didn't figure out your market, your target audience to buy that. But now you saw someone in a craft group who probably DIY'd it for themselves. They're not actually selling it. You want to now go and do it. Who you finna sell it to? Who you finna sell it to? because you have not figured out the first person, like to figure out who to sell the basic one to. Hobby versus business. As a hobbyist and as someone that DIYs, you want to do everything. As someone who wants to run a business, you are going to have to learn how to scale it back. Fashion designers will have a fashion show full of a bunch of different looks. You think all of that makes it to retail? Because do you know what it will take to mass produce or to even produce all of those different things? They do it. They're seeing what's getting the best reaction. Might do it like once or twice. When they do the shows, ever what are people really wanting? And that's what sometimes there's buyers there, and it's like, okay, this matches the aesthetic of my client, our clientele. We want to carry that in our boutique. We want this one item. Okay, I understand you spent a lot of time on everything else. It's beautiful to you, but it doesn't match my demographic. So as a buyer and a purchaser for this particular boutique, all we want is this particular item. This is how it works in business everywhere. But as a hobbyist, because you can DIY, you think that everyone's supposed to appreciate everything that you do and they're supposed to pay top dollar. Everything is not marketable, especially depending on the demographic that you are marketing to. If your core demographic, which it is perfectly fine, they have to be serviced as well. If your core demographic and what you have access to and what you are spending money to access and time and energy to access is low income families or shoppers, you can't go and give them something that is luxury. If they don't have anything else that is luxury, just because you are, this is something that I deal with every day, so it's not to talk about anyone else, but this is what we hear all the time. Just because you are a Black owned business, a brown owned business, I'm not going to pay for luxury because you said you have a luxury candle line. You have luxury I saw that. What the hell is a luxury tumbler when it's just sublimation? I understand the bling stuff, but you were selling sublimation tumblers. Why your name got luxury in it? Because I'm sorry. This ain't nothing. And I say nothing, I mean there is nothing luxury about wrapping a sheet of paper around this and sublimating it. Nothing at all. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. Nothing luxury about this. The bling one, if you are using quality crystals that people are going to appreciate, that becomes luxury. If you are making yours, yes, it takes the same amount of time to bling out a tumbler with cheap stones as it does with good stones. But the difference is it takes the same amount of work to make a cubic zirconia ring that it takes to make a diamond ring, as far as making the band and all that stuff. The difference in the value is when somebody can look at it and say, this is quality. I'm willing to pay for quality. I don't care if they look the same. I want the quality. Can anyone tell by the naked eye? Maybe, kind of sort of, some people can't tell if it's if it's real, but for some, it's looking at it, through that device, or taking the little probe and putting to it. Is it real diamonds? That's where the value comes in at, not in necessarily how it looks. That's going to take the same amount of time. But this right here is not luxury. And even if it was, if I am living paycheck to paycheck, I'm living past paycheck to paycheck, I don't care that your name says luxury. I don't need luxury. I want to fake it till I make it. So what do you have for the not so wealthy folk? Okay. If that is who your core audience is, and that is all you are trying to attract, you are not willing to actually get out there and market and be in these places to market to those who have money and pay the price to be in these spaces, you are not going to get the same amount of profit that somebody else who has these same tumblers and they're selling to a different demographic. These are things that are important to understand as a hobbyist versus somebody that's in business. And if you don't know how to figure those things out, I welcome you to join us next week First week is hobby versus business. And we will go over these things about understanding who your demographic is, really what that looks like, right? And how to really determine that. If you've ever taken my creative business, you probably heard some of this. You got the long version of it because we had like a whole week for that, well, a whole day, and like it got mixed in and stuff like that. But we're gonna go over, um, you know, ways to do your terms and conditions, the benefits of websites. We're going to talk about the benefits of websites and how that can help you and how it can hurt you if you don't have one. It is okay. Don't get me wrong. You're starting out, your volume is low. That's not a cost that you can take on right now. There is an efficient way for you to take orders, keep up with them. I think I saw someone ask about, what's the best way to keep track of everything for business and tax purposes, organization wise? Those are some of the things that we're going to discuss because there isn't one way. Some people rather pay for things like QuickBooks, or some people use Excel spreadsheets. Some people still have an actual ledger. It's so interesting because I listened to Tabitha Brown and Chance. They're at a point now where they're comfortable. They got a little bit of coins, but how they started in that they rather write stuff down and they have their book that this is where we're going to balance things out. Yes, there's all this digital stuff, but they talk about it all the time. We still go back to that. For some people, that's what they're better at. I am one where, yes, I know there's all these digital things and digital notes and Google Notes and whatever notes and Apple Notes, all that other stuff. I'm a pen and paper kind of gal. I go and for certain things, this works for me. Even if I start here and then I put it somewhere digital, because you never know if, this stuff is going to, something going to happen. But I start here. Like I have notebooks for things and I'm writing down, information. When I first started, I had, just order forms and having a notebook or something to keep that in. Like right now, when I get inquiries, it's so much now and people want to use digital things and they're just sending a message. They feel like they have access to you in so many different places. On this social media, if you have Instagram, if you have Facebook or visit tech, I can't remember all these places. So what I have my husband do so that I don't forget, because I got a whole whiteboard right here. One side is for planning. One side is if I got a message or something like that so that I can remember and other people can see it and it's not in my notebook. I write it on the board, what they wanted, what day it was, blah, 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 their information, so that as I'm doing everything else, I remember to go back to that, because I can't check all these messages every single day, especially if it's just you. So we're going to discuss all of that week 1, hobby to business. And then we have other trainings throughout the month. Even if you are not going to do these different things, like you're not looking to maybe add foam board. This was one of the reasons why I was very hesitant about certain things being in the summer school, but I had a lot of people also ask about them. I don't want you to feel like you have to start producing the things that we're going to discuss and learn week 2 through 5. So for those 4 weeks. What I want you to take from it is the process, the systems, the steps, understanding for this foam board. If I'm breaking down how you come up with the cost for it, whatever it is that you do, you will now be able to have that information. If you sell soaps, if you sell candles, all right, let's figure out how much ingredients or what material is going to take for you to make a batch of soap. Is there a way for you to get those at a better cost? Is there a better quality that's going to take it up to the next level? So although we are learning in business about designing and foam board and stuff like that, if that's not something that you desire to do at this moment, the processes, the teachings of business and how to price are still going to be valuable to you. So the summer school, if you pay for it one time, it's $336. If you want to use buy now, pay later, it is $363.50. All of our prices are $365. If you haven't noticed, it's $365 or $30 is in there somewhere because it's all about branding, right? So it's either $365 or $563, or if we can't fit in the $365, it'll be like our 8.5 by 11 is $20.30. So 30 is somewhere in there. Those are our signature numbers for our company. And that price is valid only until Friday evening. Okay. And then it will go up from there. But we are going to go through hobby to business. The second week is foam board creations. Some people ask, well, if I did want to do foam boards, what can I make with that? You can do different types of cutouts. I've done simple things like posters. So that's easy to do because you design it. You don't have to print it yourself. We have a roller, but you can send it off, tab it, print it, put it on the foam board. You cut it down. Real easy, $25 to make off of very little product. You don't have to like really hand cut it. I make custom gift boxes. I make selfie frames. I make stands. I create props with it. So the scope of what you can do with foam board, there's a lot to it. Where of course we're not going to cover. I'm going to show you some things I've created and what you can, but with this one, it's going to be learning the skill of designing for it, the differences in the types of foam boards and how to properly cut it. And eventually, like my goal is to not have to cut. I love foam board. And as much as I enjoy cutting it, I don't want to have to cut it forever. Like we're looking into, the flatbed cutter when we have the space and, we have room for mass production, and getting the flatbed cutter to where I can just plug that sucker in and I know how to design it and create the cut lines. I know how to save it. So even though we're not at that stage yet, I've looked into it. So I know what I have to learn now so that part isn't a learning curve for me once I get this machine. Week 3 is custom ribbons. I have a baby shower to do this weekend. So I'm making some custom ribbons. There's different sizes and stuff like that. You can put just their name and just the date so that it can go on like little party favors and stuff like that. So there's a lot of uses. If you wanted to, work with a school and do customize award ribbons, whether it's like for perfect attendance, where it's not your generic one, and you might be able to talk them up and be able to offer a higher price because you are making it branded for their school. It's going to be customized to their liking, and they can go get a box of it. It just might say perfect attendance. But now when you can go and instead of maybe spending money on a certificate or a plaque that has your name, if you're able to do these things and it has the student's name, that's the part that you have to talk up to the schools, right? So custom ribbons and learning the custom ribbons like that makes it to where you can eventually, this is one discussion. I was like, I'm waiting for my sister because people don't understand when it comes to cheer. Where's that bow? Is it, this is still ribbon. At the end of the day, this is still custom ribbon. But with this custom ribbon, I'm able to make a cheer bow. I just did a horrible job of doing this, but I'm able to make a cheer bow, right? Here's another little thing, right? This is a cheer bow. I'm gonna flip this around. This is also a cheer bow, right? Technically, it's the same information. It has the 2023 senior. I did a horrible job of, because I did on my lap. It has the person's name, and this one didn't have I didn't put it on this side, but like the chief head or whatever, right? This side, you'll see technically it's the same information on both sides. But if I was selling this, there is a very distinct difference in price point from this to selling this, right? The reason is this is glitter. This now becomes a premium bow. Same exact look. When I say same exact look, you can look at how that's designed, look at how that's designed. Same thing. But this now becomes a different price point because you have to put glitter HTV over it and then you have to sublimate it versus this. This all started off as a white bow, or you can get an orange bow and put there's a lot. Like, we're going to really dive into this because this is still ribbon. This, even though you form it into a bow, at the end of the day, this is a customized ribbon. And so there's a market for this. That is week 3. Week 4 is sublimation, concentration on drinkware and apparel, mainly shirts, but we will discuss things like if you wanted to put something on a long sleeve shirt, or maybe tights and things and stuff that you have to have. Are we going to do that? No, but I will give you the information that you need to know in order to actually put designs on there. We're going to talk about heat press and things like that. And then the last week is what's taking the industry by storm, which is transfers. There's so many different types of transfers to be able to put on apparel and even on hard surfaces, because now you have the UV DTF, but there are some pros and cons to that. You have printable vinyl that you can put on tumblers the same way that you can sublimate tumblers. You have white toner transfers that can also be pressed to mugs and hard surfaces. You have laser cutters. You have UV. Like, there's a lot of different ways, but one of the big things now is just different transfers. So whether it is DTF, if it is sublimation transfers, if it is eco solvent transfers, if it's screen print transfers, white toner transfers, there are a lot of them. And the last week, we're going to go over how those things, like how to incorporate them in your business. When is it best to use one versus the other, especially when it comes to profit margin. And then you have the ability to, you're going to have the opportunity to purchase a kit from us that will have the different transfers so that you can actually get a feel of the different transfers. Okay, so be on the lookout for that if for those who have signed up for the class. At first, and on Monday, I said that I was not going to offer them a la carte. As of yesterday, we decided to go ahead and just speak with some folks. Some people may not want, like, okay, I want the business one. If nothing else, the first week you'll be able to purchase it by itself. And the last week, maybe not. Well, let's see. No, some people want the foam board. They may not need everything else, but we are going to have them. And that's the thing they said, like, some people may only want certain weeks. So we are going to just have to give us some time to get that set up, because that now takes more work on our part here to separate all of those classes. So be on the lookout for them if you're interested in only one particular session out of the 5, but it's going to be a much better value for you to take advantage before Saturday morning to enroll in the summer school and get all 5 weeks for $336 or $363. Okay. Let's see. She's like laughing over here at those over here as those demographics want all the stuff without pay. Exactly. How to advertise to old school demographics who don't want to spend on these crafts, or no sporting or school reunion apparel. How do we get out and sell with nobody to sell to? There's always somebody to sell to. If, again, it's about getting out there. If who you are currently marketing to says, hey, I don't want to they don't want to buy these, you have to figure out a new way to market them. I've told this story before, so it's not like it's something that's, new or whatever. You can go find videos, and I've told this before. So I had a young lady who was, selling a product, and she was kind of in the same situation where she felt like she was stuck and no one valued, what she was doing. So my suggestion to her was, You need to be in a space where you can show off your product to a different demographic. She liked to work out. Okay, well, yes, it's more convenient for you. It might be less expensive for you, especially when sales aren't there, for you to be at the $10 a month, fitness center in your area, and you're saving on gas. But my suggestion with her was, because you like to work out, just try it out. And during that time, this was years ago, LA Fitness was like, that's the ish. Like, that shit was expensive. That's where folk who had a little bit of coin, if they weren't going to like a private gym or private club or something like that, here in Miami, folks with a little bit of coin spent their time at the LA Fitnesses, in the Southwest Ranches, in the Aventuras of them all. Like, folks with some money, that's what, and they like to work out, that's where they're at. So I was like, you like to work out, change your environment. Go into these spin classes or these different ones, and y'all get there early. You're talking it up, you're chopping it up. You're gonna go and you're gonna have some of those things, product placement. And it's like, one person noticed this, whatever, and now she has a clientele that the $10 gym people, they're not spending the same kind of money and spending money and have extra money to spend, and they have disposable income. That's what I'm looking for. They may not have disposable income like the little fancy folks at LA Fitness in Southwest Ranches or Aventura. Hell, even if you were to go to an LA Fitness in Pembroke Pines versus Southwest Ranches, baby, that's a different demographics, okay? Different. They got different. You go to that LA Fitness in one area, you're seeing certain type of cars. You go somewhere else, baby, the cars, they speak volumes. Like, okay, this is the kind of people that I want. I may want to be where it's still a regular consumer, but maybe the majority of my clientele are doctors, lawyers, engineers, folks who want convenience, and they throw money at convenience. Same people up here, same product, but they don't throw money at convenience. They rather be the one to where, like a lot of you, let's be honest about it, someone told you the amount for a shirt and you said, oh, hell no, I ain't paying for that. I can do that myself. I don't want the customer that says they can do it themselves. I want the ones that's going to pay for convenience. So you have to be in an area to get the customers that want to pay for convenience. If you still over here talking to the people who are trying to figure out how to do it themselves, you're not going to make no money. You're not going to make any money. You can make a shirt. I'm great at making shirts. Do you want to make one-offs for forever? Or do you want to figure out how to have all your ducks in a row, how to have a pamphlet, how to have a presentation, how to go and know what to look for in your city when they have these open enrollments for you to be on the vendor list for the school board or for a company there. So now it's the same process to make these shirts. If I'm making DTF shirts for one or two shirts at a time because I got the printer in-house, if I need to do 50 shirts, it's the same process. But I've now secured a contract and not an order. That's the difference from hobby to business. He's like, you're not still on day one. Stop playing. You're not still on day one. Okay, so I am in there and I'm so excited. This will be my first full live training. Okay. Oh, my mom's calling me. Don't know what for. I'm going to call her in a minute because it's been an hour and 20 minutes. So I need to get up off of here. All right. But the links are in the description of this video. The links are also, actually, I'm going to drop them over here as well. I'm going to drop them in the comments. I did put them in the description, but I'm about to drop them in the comments for those of you who like convenience and just want to click. So I think from YouTube, I don't know if you guys will be able to click on it from YouTube and get to it. Just go exit out of the live chat, go to the description, and it's going to be there. The one that I just did is a quick workshop. That one is only $15.63. We're going to learn how to change simple edits, solid colors, something like this shirt. We're not going to go through how I make this shirt that already has writing on it. If I took a picture in this, well, how do I make the shirt purple, but then I make the words yellow? No, what's Barney? I'm playing messing with myself right now, and I just realized I'm about to say I'm a big old dinosaur saying purple and green. That's why I said yellow. That's why I paused. I realized I'm about to call I mean, I got a little weight and whatnot, but I'm about to call myself a whole damn dinosaur and say purple and green. So I had to change it real quick and say yellow. I cracked myself up. But that's not an easy edit. Like, and there are requests like that. Well, can somebody change this shirt to purple but make the words red, white, and blue? No, the hell. So we're gonna go through easy edit. So if it was just this gray shirt without the writing on it, how to go and be able to change this to make it fit certain things, fit certain designs if you have to go and change it. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. And the reason why I chose that one, because it's fundamental to understand that, well, it's important to understand that the fundamental techniques are the same. The technique is the same. It doesn't matter what program you do it from. Each program is executed in a different way, but the premises of the steps and the technique of how you do it is going to be the same. So we're going to do easy color changing edits. It's meant to be a work along. You'll be able to do it click for click to get an understanding. You'll be able to ask me questions in real time if you attend the live training on tomorrow. It is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take your lunch, learn some things during your lunchtime. If you are working, take a late lunch. If you don't normally take your lunch at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or take an early lunch if you are on a different time zone. But tomorrow we're going to go through Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, and Canva. No, you do not have to have all of these softwares in order to participate in this workshop. What you will learn from it, or what I would hope that you would learn from it, is that it's the same technique, different process. And maybe you'll see which one works best for you. You might like Canva for really like simple stuff like that. But if it comes to color changing, I'm going to go over here to this program. I'm going to make it. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to bring it into Canva to add to the rest of my design. That's what I really want you guys to take away from tomorrow's workshop. So don't miss it, so that you can ask questions in real time and work along and see where you might be, missing a step here or there that you couldn't quite figure out from a YouTube video that you watched. Again, that is 1563. It's tomorrow. And we're going to work from Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, and Canva. And then for the business summer school, that's the one that has the 5 weeks. The first day is always the design day. The second day is the business day, and the last day is the actual application day and understanding how to press them or make them and blah 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 blah. Okay, so check that out on the website shop.hsinc365.com. All right, incredible afternoon designs that speak. Hey, we have HS Inc 365 designs, and that's kind of like a long art. So our tagline is let the ink speak for you. So we like that whole play on words with speak over here. So you my kind of people. All right, y'all. I gotta go. YouTube redirects you. I guess when you click on the link. Okay. Well, I got to go call my mama back. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. Be incredible. Go get you some of that Honesty Speaking summation paper so that you can do designs like this in just 30 seconds at 365 degrees. All right, y'all. Peace.